Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Tremayne, but my friends, they call me Trey. And this episode is going to be really, really interesting. There's two words that start with a D that I'm going to use are very important. One is dynamic, and then one is documentation. Those are the two words that you're going to see why I use it in this particular episode. But before we get into those two words, you're not even going to believe it. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I build up for a meeting I was supposed to have today, but it was a change of events. So with that said, here we go. So I got an early morning meeting. So heading to the office right now. I'm not going to have time to get coffee, so I brought my coffee with me. So heading there now, gonna get things organized a little bit more, prepare for 5 minutes, and the meeting should start like in a half hour. So hopefully I can record some of it. We'll see how much I can capture, how much I can't. But I'm gonna do my best to get you inside of that meeting, just kind of see what we're talking about. So stay tuned. One of the things I have to remind myself of is that, yes, I love doing these videos. I love doing these vlogs and capturing my day-to-day life. I really love doing it. But one of the things that I have to remind myself that this is a business. This is a business. So before my meeting, I sat down and I started drawing out. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right there. Started drawing out like the different functions of the business and breaking it down high level. What are the different functions? What are the categories, and then what are the tasks that are going to make this continue to run as a business? So yes, I'm having a great time doing this, but it is a business, and I have to constantly remind myself of that because I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun, and that's one of the things that you want to do things that feel like play, but it may feel like work to others. That's a wise saying from Naval Ravikant, who's an angel investor and founder that I listen to a lot of his works. But this feels like play, and I know this could feel like a lot of work to other people, but right to me, it feels like play. That's how I know I'm in a good place, and it's going to serve. I'm not going to get into all the details of the vision and everything, but I do want to. I did want to take some time today before this meeting just to remind myself of that and to organize myself around that idea even more, because it's a refinement. You're constantly refining. The same way I'm refining how I'm editing, how I'm storytelling, all those things play into how I'm building this as a business as well, and refining the model, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and most importantly, simplify. Like, how can I simplify the processes? So I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes before she comes, and then I'll be in that next meeting. I don't believe this. So the meeting's not this morning; it's tomorrow morning. I was wondering because it's time, and I'm like, wait, where's she at? I haven't heard from her. But I looked at my email, and I thought it was today, but it was tomorrow. Yeah, these things happen when you're juggling a lot of stuff. Some things like this they fall through the cracks. So yeah, just got to keep it moving. No big deal. That was my bad, but at least I'm a day ahead. I'll take that. I'm a day ahead. That's how I'm gonna think about it. I'm a day ahead of schedule. I'm on top of it. But yeah, I thought it was this morning, but it's actually tomorrow morning. So it's all good. It's all good. At least I'm prepared. It's amazing how dynamic your priorities have to be. Like, even though you have priorities, during the course of the day, these things are flipping. I wish I had like a dashboard to show you how my priorities go. I set my day like, okay, this is priority number 1, this is priority number 2, this is priority number 3. And then I structure my day in these deep work sessions in order to knock those things out. But you might get a phone call. You might get something that just says, that gets you thinking in a different direction. And in that moment, you gotta like, you're really like filtering out like, okay, you're waiting out like, does this deserve my attention? Does this deserve my attention? Attention and intention. And it's so dynamic, and you have to be adaptable to those changes during the course of the day. And just even now, I had about 2 or 3 priority switches. Just getting one phone call shifts everything around. But then once you kind of like knock out those things, then you can just get back on your regular schedule. But sometimes, and I've fallen into this trap, I just want to stay focused on what I was focused on, because the cost of switching over is too expensive. And that's pretty much what it really comes down to. Like, you're weighing. Oh, there goes my VA, my virtual assistant. But anyway, yeah. So she's reminding me it's time to focus. But what was I saying? Yeah. So the cost of switching context, you're constantly weighing that cost. And you're asking, is this too expensive for me to stop this to do this? And one of the ways that I weigh this, and I think I mentioned this in a video, or it might have been in a meeting or something, is I'm prioritizing based off of cash flow generating activities. So if the activity is closer to the cash flow, is how I'm going to prioritize, and I'm going to budget that cost based off of that. So that's what I'm always, today has been dynamic priority shifting.
It's time to focus.
Even though I got the wrong date for that meeting, I've been very productive today. I've been getting a lot done over the last few hours. Definitely focused in on. Okay, let's start here. Because to be honest, I haven't really been getting my deep work sessions over the last few days. Not like I usually do. Maybe an hour I would do, because I was like being pulled in like a lot of different directions, because a lot of change was happening. So in order for me to navigate through that change, I had to remove some of my structure. And at times that feels good, to be able to not to have as much structure, but most of the times, for me to be the most productive I need to be, that structure is very helpful. So today was the first time. So today was the first time in a while I was able to get some more focused, structured working, and that does, that pushes me, propels me forward by a lot when I do that. But when I don't do it, I'm getting work done, but it's not focused. It's all over the place. It's like focused chaos. But it gets done, but it doesn't get done as efficient as it could be, which is going to be a very, very, very important thing, because I'm adding more projects, more deals are getting done slowly, but it's going to require more bandwidth, and yeah. So that's what it is. I'm going to grab something to eat really quick, and then I have a meeting in about 30 minutes, so have some time to prepare for that. Even though I got the wrong date for that meeting, I've been very productive today. I've been getting a lot done over the last few hours. Definitely focused in on. Oops. Okay. Let's start here. Because to be honest, I haven't really been getting my deep work sessions over the last few days. Not like I usually do. Maybe an hour I would do, because I was like being pulled in like a lot of different directions because a lot of change was happening. So in order for me to navigate through that change, I had to remove some of my structure. And at times that feels good. To be able to not to have as much structure, but most of the times, for me to be the most productive I need to be, that structure is very helpful. So today was the first time. So today was the first time in a while I was able to get some more focused, structured working, and that does, that pushes me, propels me forward by a lot when I do that. But when I don't do it, I'm getting work done, but it's not focused. It's all over the place. It's like focused chaos. But it gets done, but it doesn't get done as efficient as it could be, which is going to be a very, very, very important thing, because I'm adding more projects, more deals are getting done slowly, but it's going to require more bandwidth, and yeah. So that's what it is. I'm going to grab something to eat really quick, and then I have a meeting in about 30 minutes, so I have some time to prepare.
I think the strategy is to line up the folks from the ProServe side who have the deeper wallets committed prior to even getting to the seed concept. Where you could help me a lot is that there needs to be some MVP in place.
It's a little windy out here. It's drizzling too. But I'm gonna take a little walk after that meeting. Really good meeting. Things are moving pretty fast. And it was definitely a timely meeting. Can't get into all the details because yes, it is confidential, but It was a really good meeting, and it's really important to think on your toes and to be dynamic. I've been saying dynamic way too much today. You got to be really dynamic in the way the way you're doing business, because there are no more rules. People are waking up, especially people that have been locked in like corporate environments for 5-10 years, and they're seeing opportunities within that corporation that they want to transform or change. And one of the common themes was in the meeting was AI is putting fire underneath corporate America's butt in terms of the enterprise piece of corporate America. So these are conversations, like I said, at the edge of things, and it's a great learning experience. And I just need to break, a quick walk after that to decompress. So peace. Documentation. That is the word right now. You want to document everything that you can. It's very important for the right now, just to kind of put it down on paper. I already wrote it in my notes, but put it down on paper so that you have it as a record, because you never know when it's going to come back up. But that's where it becomes an archive or a library for new ideas, new innovations. So usually I use otter.ai, which is a tool that allows you to, it's kind of like an AI assistant that records the conversation in a Zoom meeting or a Google meeting. And it usually has the documentation already done. I wish I would have done that, because all the information that was flying around in the meeting, in our conversation. I wish I would have used that, because that would have made my documentation a little bit easier. So I'm definitely doing it by hand now, but moving forward, I'm going to start using that tool so that I don't have to do the work that I'm doing right now manually. It's okay for now, but it's not sustainable over the long term. So documentation. I'm not sure if you see the spider web or not, but this speaks to my YouTube content strategy. Before I really got started, like creating my own YouTube channel, one of the things that I was always fascinated by was people that really built channels like from scratch. So call me crazy, but I spent about a weekend watching every single Soulja Boy YouTube video from his very first one, to see how he, became the person he became over the span of about 7 years. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was always just so fascinated by how people's lives unfold. Also, I took the time to look at Mr. Beast, almost all of his videos, not all of him, but a good portion of his videos, and a few other notables that, that really built this channel. And one of the things that I noticed is they were all able to build this web of content. So even though they didn't have a lot of followers at the time, they weren't even thinking about followers. They weren't even thinking about likes and all the vanity metrics. They were just building the content because A, they loved it, had a passion for it, and B, they knew, or maybe they didn't know, maybe they were, they subconsciously just did it because they just loved doing it. But what happens is when somebody comes on your channel, you want to create a web of content for them that they pretty much, go down a rabbit hole and bounce from one video to the next video to the next video. I don't know about you, but I've done that before. I've done that many a times, but that's what the strategy is now, is to just build a web of content so that when someone hits my page, whether it's this year or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, whenever it is, there's gonna be a web of content. So as I'm sitting here taking a little break, I saw this spider web and it made me think about my strategy. That's exactly my strategy. I'm not calling you a spider if you are listening to this. I'm not calling you that. But what I am saying is I want to create enough value in each video for you to want to see the next one. So I'm done for the day. I'm actually packing up, and I really appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Like I always say, I want to hear from you. So if there's something in this video that resonated somewhere, in this content that resonated, please let me know in the comments. If not, if you don't have the time, I get it. Give me a thumbs up. At least I know, and the algorithm knows that there's some good activity happening on this channel. So with that said, peace.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say.